What do you want to do tonight?
The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
You might think that getting into the IT field is impossible without a computer science degree, but Tech Coach Ralph is here to prove you wrong. Get ready for some jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into this lucrative industry. Listen up, tech enthusiasts! Are you ready to break through into the IT field, but feel like you need a computer science degree to make it happen? Think again. Tech Coach Ralph has some exclusive, mind-blowing secrets to share with you. Get ready to be blown away by his jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into the tech industry without a computer science degree. So get your notepad ready, because Tech Coach Ralph is going to change your life forever. Buckle up, because you're about to embark on a journey to success in the IT field.
Are you ready? It's time!
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Today is Sunday, April 28th, 2024. How is everyone doing? I got my guy in the building already. Already in the building. I'm technically Tim. What's going on? And Tim knows what time it is. He knows what time it is. He already said. I'm gonna play it one more time because he wants to hear the buffer voice, right?
It's time!
And when Mitch gets here, I'm going to take him down because Tim, you might be too young to know this soundbite right here.
Are you ready?
Might be a little too young to know that one, but I'm sure Mitch is gonna know. And we got. I thought last week was my birthday. We got. There goes Mitch already. We got Bridget in the building since I never caught the beginning of a live stream before. Well, we are here now. And Mitch is in the building already. He says, take off the blazer, loosen up the tie. Superman is alive. And by the way, I am a problem. I know. Anyways, you know what? You guys don't even know who I am. If you do not know who I am the host of the show. I am Tech Coach Ralph, where, as always, above all else, we are engineered to win. All right? We're engineered to win. And that's what we're going to do today. Today, it's Terraform Day. Infrastructure is code. We're going to keep moving towards trying to figure out this load balancer thing, all that good stuff. And we're going to have some fun. So let's get into it. So, and I'm going to come back to, because Tim, I know that soundbite definitely went over your head, right? But we're gonna come back to it after we get through the announcements, and we're gonna do a pop quiz on Mitch. All right? Maybe Bridget too, if she was familiar with. I can't even say it because then I'm gonna give it away, right? But we'll come back to it. All right? We'll come back to it. So let's get into the agenda real quick, and let's run through this. All right? So first and foremost, I want to say just thank you to everyone who has subscribed to the channel, who is supporting for however long it's been. I really, really appreciate you guys. And, we are growing, we are working. And guess what? As we grow, we come up with new ideas and we implement them. I am a strong believer in the agile methodology. And we will do things in iterations. We'll try things. We'll improve upon them. And sometimes things might not work and we'll take them away. But we had a wonderful show this past Saturday. Yesterday. I'm talking about this past Saturday. It was yesterday. Where we were reviewing the weekly numbers that came out during the week. And shout out to Mitch, right? Because He helped me so much go through these numbers and understand what was going on. Such great insight. So, I'm gonna figure out if we're gonna do it every Saturday or every other Saturday or something like that because new numbers come out every week, but some weeks might be like slower numbers than other weeks. So we're gonna figure it out. I'll talk to Mitch. We're gonna figure it out. But it was an amazing show. I learned a lot, and that was so much fun. So everyone, just clap it up for Mitch. All right. And of course, you see, we have one of them in here already, Bridget. Salute to my tech barbarians working hard every day, whatever it is they're working on, whether they're learning the software development process with me in our group, or they already work in the industry and we are leveling up day by day, making progress, seeing significant increase in the value that we bring to the world, to the workforce. I salute you guys. You guys are absolutely amazing. Just keep, in the words of, Mitch through, I guess, Finding Nemo, just keep on swimming. All right, so let me run through these through the live shows real quick. We have Mondays mornings and Wednesday mornings. Tomorrow I'm starting out around 7:50 a.m. because the topic tomorrow on Tech Niche Tips is going to be so fun. They're going to be talking about TikTok, and next Friday, which I'll talk about when we get to the pre-recorded, I'm going to be releasing a video about my thoughts on the whole TikTok ban, reviewing an article about it, where the TikTok leadership says they're not selling. So I'm going to be chiming in tomorrow morning, whether Joseph knows it or not. I'm going to be chiming in tomorrow morning because I'm ready for this one. And curious to see the thoughts. So tomorrow morning around 7:50 a.m. we're gonna be going live with our morning show. We're gonna continue working through our mobile development. We are almost at the stage to push it back into the App Store. And so that's tomorrow morning. So Mondays and Wednesdays morning show around 7:15, 7:30 we get started. We run that up. And then Sunday afternoons today we're going to be working on infrastructure as code, software explorations, Terraform, all that good stuff. A lot of AWS stuff. One of my tech barbarians, they said like they're in college right now that they are taking an AWS course, and it's so much information, so many different resources, in fact, and like I don't even know what they call it, services, so many different services in AWS. I'm like, yeah, it's huge. So don't overwhelm yourself. And I can even show you an overview because all of my infrastructure 99% of my infrastructure for the app that we're building is on AWS. The only one that's not going to be on AWS is, which they kind of use AWS, but it's going to be the Mongo database. So Sunday afternoons are really, really important, especially for everyone, right? QA, software engineers, DevOps people, because we all work with Terraform and AWS and stuff like that, and the knowledge can easily be transported over to Google Cloud Platform and Microsoft Azure, whatever you're using, right? So that is on Sunday afternoons. Tuesday nights, we have our Q&A session where you guys ask questions. I get questions. You guys are free to call in, all that type of stuff. And we have some fun. We answer the questions and, give our perspective, and people in the chat give their perspective. Anyone else wants to call in and give their perspective, we are more than open to do that. And then Thursday nights, we have software explorations where we are going through QA stuff. We're doing API automation. We're going to continue with the Java and the rest assured. To continue it a little bit, and then we're going to probably try something else out after that. So that is our live show schedules, and I'm going to figure out what we're going to do on Saturdays. If it's going to be every Saturday, every other Saturday, I'll figure that out, and when that happens, I will post it and we'll make an announcement. So that is our live show schedule. Almost every day, something going on, and the people that I'm coming across, like they're giving me some other great ideas that I'm working out how I'm going to implement it, where I'm going to find the time to do it. But we are here winning, all right? We are here winning. All right, so next up, our pre-recorded content. So Mondays, candid conversations. One of my favorites, right? And tomorrow's candid conversation, I'm going to be talking about, right? I'm going to be talking about why you and I, We're not friends. We are not friends. Well, let me put it like this. We're not friends first. Because, and if you want to know why, you know what? Tune in tomorrow and I'll let you know why we are not friends, right? We are not friends. I do not want to be your friend whatsoever, okay? So tune in and you'll find out why. And you know what? I guarantee on my life that you'll walk away thanking me for why I do not want to be and I refuse to be your friend. All right? Well, I'll take it back. I'm Mitch's friend. But everybody else, right? Everybody else, I refuse to be your friend. Okay? And then we have Wednesday software explorations. We're going to be talking about API documentation. So definitely check that out. API documentation to me is one of the most important things in APIs. So find out about it, tune in, and we're going to be actually looking at some API documentation on the video. So Wednesday afternoon. And then Fridays, we have the bug bite where, like I said, we're going to be talking about the TikTok ban and TikTok's response to Congress passing the bill and President Joe Biden signing the bill. All right. So definitely tune in for that and we will have some fun going there. Okay. So that is it for our pre-recorded content. And now let's get into the show. Let me check the chat and then we're going to have a little bit of discussion and then we're going to get to work. Okay. We are going to get to work. Can you believe this? All right. Let's just stop this real quick. Let's somebody just dislike the video. I haven't even said anything. At least let me make you mad before you dislike. Come on. Stupid. Anyways, I'm kidding. Feel free to dislike. I don't care. All right, let's get to it. So let's get to the chat and let's see. All right, so Tim says that one went over my head. So this is the soundbite. Let's start off with the soundbite, right? Mitch, let me know where is this soundbite from, okay? Where is the soundbite from?
Are you ready?
And Bridget, if you know, let me know, right? I guarantee Mitch knows, but just curious. I'm just curious, right? Because I know Tim is like this right here.
Are you ready?
I think it probably I want to say stop, but it started being played before Tim was born. I guarantee it. It was before Tim was born because I remember when I heard it. It was like in the 90s. So it might still play it now. I don't know. It depends. But all right. So Bridget says you need the Sunday monster truck announcer. I will. You know what? I'm gonna write it. I'm gonna put it on my any-do list. Let's look for that Sunday monster truck announcer. See, it's on my list. Whenever you tell me, give me a good idea, I put it on the list and I go figure it out. All right. So now let's go to, so shout out to Mitch. He says, dope hoodie, bro. So this is the hoodie, right? It says, let me move this out of the way. Black sheep of the family matches the hat. Because guess what? I think I am the black sheep of the family, whatever family I belong to, because I don't go with everyone's BS all the time. You know what I mean? So I'm like, okay, cool. If that's what you want to do, go ahead and do it. But I'm gonna keep on working. I'm gonna keep on swimming. All right. And sometimes they dislike me for that because I don't follow along with all the hoopla and stuff like that. I'm just gonna do me. And then, but guess what? They come around to following along and see that. Let's put it like this. At the end of the day, I'm always right. Right? We'll leave it at that. Right? So let's keep going a little bit. And Mitch says, I'm staying silent tomorrow after I give my statement. I'm a That was so wild. It was so funny yesterday that OTTO, he sent me a voice message dog coughing up a lung and stuff saying that was so wild yesterday. But Mitch, I got you. I got your back. I got your back. All right, Mitch, don't worry. We are here, Mitch. We are here, right? So and you made the show fun. You made the show fun. I mean, it was already fun, but you know, and Mitch says, D-Generation X. Salute to Mitch for getting that right. All right. One more. I love that intro.
Are you ready?
Because whenever you heard that intro, it was about to go down. All right. And Tim says, all the unks in the chat showing their age. Mitch says, I'm not an unk. Tim says, my bad. You guys are too much. All right. Let's get on with the show. All right. And guess what? Mitch, with that one dislike, that means I've made it. Because I was talking to another friend of mine. I'm like, you haven't really made it until people start disliking your video. Especially, and now it's on an even higher level because before you even said anything, you get a thumbs down. So, hey, I love it. Bring them on. Bring it on. All right. So just like the movie, bring it on. All right. Okay. So what I want to talk about next is, real quick, the toughest thing to do. What is the toughest thing to do? The hardest thing to do? So I'm going to say, all right, the hardest thing to do. The hardest thing to do is to help people do what is in their best interest. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, Bridget. Happy to see you here and enjoy your daughter's art show. Shout out to your daughter. You have a very, very busy schedule as well. But again, like I was saying, right? The toughest thing to do is to help people do what is in their best interests, because you can clearly see, what might be the right path, things like that, what direction that they should be going in. But sometimes it's like, it's hard to say. Like, I don't even know what the thought might be. Whatever the situation is, like, you say, okay, hey, you want to make more money. Well, how about you go and you study this? And it's like, well, okay, I'll do it. And then you say, okay, a month later, hey, did you do it? No, not yet. And then excuses. Another month later, no, not yet. And it's like, all right, why am I dedicating my time to thinking or caring about what you're going to do or not going to do? See, and that's why the way, and maybe this is why I'm the black sheep, because some people think that, it's your family, it's your friend, it's whoever, your daughter, it's your son, it's your niece, it's your nephew, it's your wife, whoever. It doesn't matter who. That you have to keep supporting and pushing them along, even when they refuse to do what's in their best interest. And I'm like, no. I'm going to do what I have to do. And now, if you are willing to come along, then great. But I'm not going to like constantly, and I'm definitely not going to force you to do what's in your best interest. But I'm not going to like, say, hey, you should do this. You should do, because look, that's time, which is, me, time is money, and it's tiring. Imagine like, and I know Mitch would do this, right? If Mitch would tell me every single detail on why energy drinks are bad for you, and I would like, all right, cool, Mitch, but I'm gonna keep drinking. And every stream we show up, I have a can of Monster or whatever, and I'm like, I'm just gonna keep drinking it. And he's like, "Oh, those aren't good for you. Those aren't good for you. Those aren't good for you." I mean, it gets tiring at some point. To the point, like he might still watch, but he's not gonna say like, "All right, I give up. I give up on this." So all I'm saying is allocate your time and your energy wisely. Set a limit. Set a limit to when it's enough. And now when they are ready to make a change, when they're ready to make a change, then you can go from there. But until then, a lot of times, like you can see people going towards a brick wall, and you can try to wave them down and stuff like that. But a lot of times, people need to crash into that brick wall, and hopefully, it doesn't hurt them too badly. But sometimes you do gotta get hurt a little bit badly, to wake up. Sometimes you have to go unconscious to become conscious. I just made that up right there. Bars. All right. Anyways, that is enough of that, right? So we're gonna get into the show. We are going to get into our Terraform stuff. Like I said today, this is my goal. I don't know how far I'm gonna get, but I want to troubleshoot the application load balancer to figure out why the site wasn't coming up. We might have to do some little stuff manually, tweaking stuff to see what's gonna allow it to come up, and then we'll go back to Terraform and we make those adjustments. And then if we get that done, then we're going to go towards getting a subdomain to point towards the ECS, the Elastic Container Service site. And then if we get through that, which I doubt we're going to get that far, then we're going to work on setting up our certificate so that we can have the site in Docker through ECS. And we can have the Elastic Bean container so we can see which one we're going to be using, which one's going to be the most cost effective. All right. So that is the plan for today. So let's see. All right. So let's get to it. Before we even go into there, if you haven't done so already, do me a big favor. Go ahead and like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you can know every single time we go live. And if you haven't done so already, go over to the Patreon, www.techcoachralph.dev, where you can get one-on-one coaching if you need it, as well as get exclusive content that is not on YouTube. All right. So that being said, let's get into it. Let me check the chat real quick because I missed them. All right. So let's see. We have. So Tim says, I know DX though, so I might be undercover too. I might be undercover Unc too. You see. And it says, "That's crazy, thumbs down." Hey, I welcome it. How do they say any publicity is good publicity? Unless there's certain publicity that's not good publicity, but it is what it is. And Tim says, nah, that's a bar, coach. Sometimes you got to go unconscious to become conscious. Hey, sometimes you got it, sometimes you don't. All right. So, and you know what? Because of that, Tim, do you know this one, Tim? Do you know this one?
Message.
See? Now we're gonna see if you're part of the Unk Club or not. All right, Tim. Do you know?
Message.
All right. So let's get to it. I found a way to get the timer working a little bit better. I don't have the sounds associated with it yet, but Agile, we build and we improvise every single day. So let's get our first timer up. And let's get to work. So we are going to get into, let's see. Let me pull up the editor, and then we are going to, so first let's take a quick look at our AWS. And we are at $40 for the month, which is pretty much what we expect. Last month it was estimated around 46. It's gonna go down just a little bit between last month. There were more days. There was like one more day last month, so it's gonna go down a little bit. I monitor this closely because in January, which I was refunded for it, but we did there was that not even there. Oh, it was that what is it called? The Amazon Q, the chatbot for businesses that for some reason exploded, but they did refund me for that. So I was very, very thankful to Amazon for that. And so we have this, and let's take a look at our ECS or ECR, and this is the one that we're going to try to start. Well, we're going to start this up through Terraform, but this is the and for some reason last time when we were using this, the latest image, it wouldn't start for some reason. So we'll start off with this one, and we'll see how that goes, and then we'll go from there. Right. So let's go over. Let me close a bunch of stuff down. And let's go over to our other screen. All right, so let's do that. And we're gonna go to git checkout Terraform. Or actually, let me see. Do I have any stuff that I have to get status? Oops. Get status. All right, branches up to date. Git checkout Terraform. All right, so we are inside of our Terraform branch, and we are going to go into the folder where we have our Terraform code for Docker. Git or cd Terraform Docker and ls. All right, so we have our files here, and we are gonna do Terraform plan. So what's gonna happen here, right? Because what we worked on last time was I'll show the file too. Actually, we worked on the ECS elastic load balancer. We did the auto scaling. We went through. We had a tutorial to go through all of this, right? And what ended up happening was everything came up, but we were not able to actually see the application. So I think there's some type of networking thing that's happening. So what this is the way that we're going to troubleshoot today, right? We are going to bring it up, and then we're going to look through we're going to manually go into AWS and navigate around to see what the configuration thing is. And we're going to play around with it, try to get that to work. And then once we figure it out manually, and that's why I say, right, when people talk about, manual testing, and I'm like, well, it's not a and or like manual testing or automation. It's a and. It's like or it's not a or, it's an and. So you're always gonna have to do something manually, but you do it manually to get to the point of being able to automate it. I hope that, like, when you think about these, for outside, which I'm very upset about this, which we can probably talk about during the break, maybe if there's a comment about it in the chat, then we'll talk about it in the break. But I'm really upset that a lot of these stores are going back now to people based checkout lines because people keep like stealing and stuff, or the story about people swapping out eggs in cartons, getting the $8 eggs and putting them in $2 cartons, that's a whole nother story. Tim, I'm not sure if you caught that the other day, right? But that bothers me because I like self-checkout. But anyways, the example with self-checkout for ages, right? They were doing the person at the checkout lane, and then you'd have to go stand at Walmart, and the line is like all the way for who knows how long, and there were like 2 lanes open. And now when I go into Walmart, I zoom through. I can go into Walmart within 15 minutes, get what I want. There's like 8 self-checkout lanes, right? There's 8 self-checkout, and there's 2 of them. There's one on the left side, and there's one on the right side of the store, on the east side and on the west side. So I just go in there and I get what I want, and there's almost always a lane open. And even when it's long, it goes pretty quick. So now, but there's still some, checkout lanes for people who need a person, but and that's why I say like it's not either or. There's some McDonald's and some fast food places where there's like not any cash people, like not any person to take your order. So first and foremost, all those people who start stealing at these stores that have self checkout, I think that they should get life. All right, that's a bit dramatic, but that's how I feel about my self checkout. I really really appreciate my self checkout. So there needs to be some. It should be a class 1 felony, right? Right under murder. Right under murder. Okay. So that's all I'm saying. All right. Anyways, enough ranting. Let's see. That's probably gonna get another dislike. Anyways, let's go. All right. Let's go. So let's go to. All right. So I'm gonna do a. So we did our Terraform plan. We're gonna do a get or not get. See, I get confused. Terraform apply. And it's gonna do all this stuff. And we can let it go. It's gonna be setting up. And it actually goes pretty quickly, to be honest. It's actually faster to set up than the Elastic Beanstalk because launching the Docker container is actually pretty quick. So setting up the infrastructure and here's the thing. You weren't here. You probably heard me say this before, Tim, but you weren't here last week when I said all of this stuff that we did to automate it. It took us like a live stream, or to write the code took us like a live stream. But now when I come back to it to set it up, it's gonna take maybe a minute or two, and it's gonna do everything. And for me to go through the AWS console to set all these things up, that would take me hours. And I can even take this template and apply it to. So let's say we work in some type of company where we're deploying a bunch of apps all the time. I can take this template. I can even make like a module or something for it, and I can just swap out like, okay, instead of launching this Docker container, we can use this Docker container instead, and it's going to do all the infrastructure for it as well, and we're going to be good to go. So cutting down on hours and hours of repetitive work down to like minutes. Automate it once, and then you modify it and adjust it for whatever your needs are. And then when you want to tear it down, simple to tear it down. So, like you said, embrace the future. Embrace the future. All right. So while that's going, let's take a look over at the other screen. And we can see, oh, wait a second, let's go back. Something happened here. Load balancer cannot be attached to multiple subnets in the same. What in the world are you talking about? Pretty sure this worked. Yes. The other day. Let's see. Try another Terraform apply. Let's try that one more time. It says creating ELB application load balancer. Invalid configuration request. A load balancer cannot be attached to multiple subnets in the same availability zone. And that is in file ALB main. So ALB main. What I had last time. Let's see. A load balancer cannot be attached. Well, let's look that up. It says a load balancer cannot be attached to multiple subnets. So let's see why we're getting this error. Let's see. What is the error? We're just the only difference is this is in like CloudFormation. We're doing it in Terraform, but still fine. Let's see. So let me just check what their answer is. Sometimes I just like go to the answer first, and then I go back to the question. And there's no real answer. Here's a reason and workaround. Instead of considering creating a new environment and perform a CNAME swap. So, so following the guide, I did not. All right, let's try to figure out why our VPC has multiple subnets in the same AZ when running Docker compose, yada yada yada. Well, that's not very helpful. Let's see what this one says. Let's see. All right. Okay, so there you go. You should use public subnets from the VPC module in your AWS LB. So, subnets. Let's try that. Right? Let's try that. Right? Public AWS subnets or subnets. Oh, what? Modules. Okay, so subnets dot or subnet dot public dot well, that's what it should have been. Let's see. That doesn't help. Because you're talking about a module. Let me see what they have up here. What module are you using up here? Module VPC ID. Let's see. Subnet. I think that's what I have though. Let's see. Let's see. And the error is a load balancer cannot be attached to multiple subnets in the same availability zone. So if we scroll, so this is here. Let's go to network maybe. There goes AWS VPC main. Availability zone. Subnet private, subnet public. Availability zone. Ooh, all right. AZ count. We change this to 1 maybe? I don't know. Let's figure this out. So wait, no, this is the thing. It can't be multiple subnets in the same availability zone. This is where my AWS and my networking skills kind of die down a bit, right? So CIDR block, CIDR, AWS subnets. What is this 8 over here? All right, so what if I look for now? So we look here, CIDR block. Let's see. CIDR. Let's see. Let's see here. CIDR block. Let's see. I don't know. I don't quite know how to. A load balance cannot be attached to multiple subnets in the same availability zone. Let's keep looking, see if we find anything else. Always come across something that has to throw a wrench in your plans. Let's see what this one says. The error doesn't have anything to do with Terraform as it is an ELB configuration. Please refer to AWS documentation, which clearly emphasizes that within one of it, only one subnet can be associated. Right? How do you do that in Terraform, though? What I did that appeared to fix the issue. The error in Terraform was pointing to, I guess, where it barfed. I went back to the subnets portion, as you can see here, and just added the tag portion. Prior to asking the question, I did not have this in the code. Let me check my subnet portion then. Let's go back over here. And AWS subnet IDs for data. Let's see. Well, let's try that, I guess. Won't hurt anything. Data. AWS subnet. Let's see. Add that. And that should be data dot. That's not the same as mine. Try something. If I go to time's up. All right, well, looks like we have another mission to get into today. So let's go to full screen. And, well, if it's not one thing, it is another. Probably easy fix. We'll figure it out. But, it is what it is. Anyways, let's get to break. And we are going to, so first break, we're going to look at the chat as well as we are going to talk about Trello, right? Trello. So I'll give you some context into that. I didn't see you there, technically, Tim. So where were you yesterday? Right? So let me put up our 5 minutes. You saw how I got that, Mitch? You saw how I got that? The timers are coming back. Right, that's what the chat says. Let's see. Tim says, embrace the future. Automation is a great thing, in my opinion. Yes. Yes, it is. I love automation. I've been doing automation for like the past 12 years in QA specifically, but I can, I automate a lot of things. Right? And Tim says, life sentence is wild, but I love my self checkout too. Yeah, it might be a little bit extreme. I know, but you do know, in countries like Singapore, if you were to bring in narcotics into their country, then either they give you a life sentence or it's punishable by death. Just say it. There is a zero tolerance policy over there. So, just don't steal from Walmart, right? Or Target, or Publix if you're down here in the South, or whatever. Don't you guys have a store like Ralph's in Canada or something? Don't steal from there either. Like, just don't steal anywhere. Don't steal anywhere, right? Because I don't want my. And here's the thing, right? Follow me on this. With self checkout, the prices are, or should, maybe they don't, but they should go down. And now when they have to bring everybody back, so now we're still paying for the technology that's not being used, plus we're paying for the higher minimum wage, and we're paying for the people who keep stealing everything. So just don't steal, right? Make my life easier and don't steal, right? Do me a favor. Make my life easier, don't steal. Make Tim's life easier, don't steal. And maybe make Mitch's life easier too, all right? So let's continue. And there you go. See, hashtag for the day, don't steal. So what I want to talk to you real quick is about Trello. So I don't know if you guys are very familiar with it, but like I said, I am a big person in Agile. I have like 4 active Agile boards. So I have one, outside of work, right? I have one that I use at work for my work team, but in my day-to-day, my personal, and my coaching and stuff like that, I have a Scrum board that I use for, which you guys have seen before, but I use that for the giving the tech barbarians true work experience, Scrum nights and everything like that. I have the one that I use, the Kanban board that I use for the mobile app that you see plenty of times in the morning for those who are up early enough, like Mitch, up early enough to, go like to build a mobile app with me. You'll see that. And then yesterday in the Bag Chasers Discord, we did a Agile night where we're like giving an overview on Kanban, and one of my main people there, Trap and Slay, showed off her Trello board, her Kanban board, and how she uses it, and that inspired me. So I created two. One for the, like, both of them are for content creation, like, making that in process, but one for the live streams and one for the pre-recorded content. So the pre-recorded content is going to consist of the Monday, Wednesday, Friday videos, as well as the clips, and I guess shorts as well, right? So I just wanted to show a quick look of how my live stream Trello board looks, so you can have an idea. I'm not going to get into depth about Kanban and how I set it up and stuff like that, but I must say, when I saw how nice that Travis Lay's board was, I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna make mine similar to that. So I'll just show it real quick. So I have, wow, it's like background inception. So I have my to-do list. Excuse me, my goodness. So I have like my to-do. So all these were in to-do. And I have like schedule live streams for the week. And then my guy, your car, he named his done column celebrate. So when you are done doing something, we celebrate, right? We celebrate. So I have all the live streams scheduled for this week. And as things are going, so now this Sunday show that's scheduled, I had the agenda created, and then now it's streamed, or we're streaming it, right? And then once that's done, once we're done with the show, I'm gonna move it over to celebrate because I'm gonna be done with the show and we can move on. And then tomorrow morning, same thing, keeping it on a cycle. And I found a plugin for it where it should create all of these cards every single week for me on a particular date, where we just go through the same process over and over and over and over again. What we do here, right? So like I said, I love automation. I love methodologies. I love strategies to help us win. So maybe I'll probably figure out something to do in the tech, in my Patreon, in the tech explorers, tech barbarians, tech prodigies, where we are going. See, a lot of us. Well, in my Patreon, we're going to be a lot more into the software development, more technical. So it's going to be a lot more technical in the stuff that we're doing, but you need to implement this stuff into your life so you can be organized and so that you can be way, way more successful. All right. So just wanted to share that with you. I like it. I think with the Trello part, it gives you a little, you get to be a little bit more creative with it, So just saying. All right. Anyways, in T-Ways, we are going to continue. Let me check something real quick. Make sure we are in a good spot. Yes, we are. Ooh. Why is that happening? Okay. Let's see. 342. Right. Hopefully when the stream comes back, it looks like it's slowing down a little, but we're gonna keep going. We're gonna do what we do. All right. So hopefully it's all good. Hopefully it's all good. Hopefully the Xfinity gods don't mess with us too much today. All right. So let's get back to it. We are going to put another 20 minutes on the clock, and we are going to try to figure this out so we can move on with our lives. All right. I don't like when things that should be working hold us up, and then we got a whole nother hell to figure out. So let's get 20 up on the clock. All right. Okay. So let's see. What are we going to do? All right. So let's go over here. And that's what we can do. So AWS subnet, CIDR, subnets and secondary, VPC. I don't need all of that. So availability zone for the subnet. Let's see. Looking through the documentation. Although this documentation is for Terraform and not necessarily for AWS. All right. So if I go back over here, and load balancer cannot, and you know why this is happening now? Because last time we did it in pieces when we would like start it up. So we need to figure out, especially show a newly created route table for the private subnet so they don't default to the main route table. Create a new route table for the private subnet. Let me see if I can find the documentation that we created this off of to see why this is acting up. All right. Let's see. Terraform, AWS Fargate from start to finish. This is not Terraform. Oh, we have it in here actually. We have it in one of these files, ECS plan. Oh, let's see. I know I had it in one of these. ECS plan. Let me see my ECR plan. Not in here. Not in here. I thought I saved it in here somewhere. There we go. So this is the. So let's look at this URL. And I'll drop it in the chat for anybody who's interested in looking at the one that I'm looking at. And we go here and here. And let's take a look at that. What is going on? All right. Okay, things are acting weird. Okay, so let's go to do it manually. All right, so let's look at this real quick. So I am comparing to see where is this issue actually happening, right? Because it should be working fine, but I don't know. Let's see. If we start looking at over here, we should be able to see. All right, so AWS subnet public, AWS subnet private. And if I look at this file is called this file is called, we're looking at the network file, and we are going to be looking at this part right here. Maybe we missed this part in there. So let's go to this thing. So let's look at what we have for, so availability zone available is blank. CICR is correct. Let's see. Let's see what we got over here. All right, so private, let's see the public. That might be what it is right there. The map public IP on launch might be what we're missing here. AWS. All right, so yeah, we're definitely missing some stuff in here. All right, so let's go ahead and let's add that in here. I don't know how we even got here. All right, so VPC ID, we got that. Count, we got that. CICR block, we got that. And let's go ahead and do availability zone. And we're going to say that's going to be data.aws availability zone dot available dot names. And then that's going to be count dot index. And then we're going to do map public on launch. And we're going to say that's going to be true. Right? So we're missing that, right? So troubleshooting, we caught something. Let's go and try to run it up again. Let's run it up. Terraform apply. Yes. And it's apparently destroying some stuff before it brings it back up. Well, since our connection is good, so I don't know. I don't know why it's acting up. Don't know why it's acting up because we have a good connection. So I don't know. Maybe I'm using so many resources on the computer. I have to shut some things down. All right. All right, so things are creating. I'm going to go over to AWS real quick to see what is going on. Just test something out real quick. Let's see. Okay, acting up on me. Just can't get good help nowadays. I might have to upgrade this little device over here. All right, let's see. So let's go over here. All right, now we're back. All right, so cool. Let's go and so image scan overview. All right, so let's open up the ECS page. We'll favorite that ECS page as well. While it's doing its thing over there, let's open new tab. And there goes the one that's creating right now. It's creating this now. So let's see. I don't know why these IDEs have to use that much CPU, right? At the end of the day, it's just like text that's sending commands out, but I could be wrong. Anyways, let's take a look. Let's see what's going on. So we have this cluster. We have the task created already. There goes the task that just got created. This was created just now. Perfect. Let's go to EC2 as well. And we should see the load balancers getting set up in there. And load balancers are pretty expensive. All right, there we go. Look, so load balancers are pretty expensive for some reason, right? But it has been shown that the error that we made, like the stuff that we're missing these two lines right here, that's what caused the issue. So we needed to have, I don't know if this one was necessarily that important, but this right here was very important where, you know what, this might be why when last time we tried to access it, we couldn't. But here, availability zone, making it, let's see. PPQ available. So this one. So this is data fetch AZs from in the current region. And so because we weren't saying that the availability zone, we weren't passing availability zones into it. So it's probably defaulting to something. So now that we pass it into here, now we have, so that makes sense. Look at that. We're out here winning. We are out here winning. All right. So I have a soundbite that I want to use, but I haven't had the opportunity yet. I'm going to find the opportunity to use it. I'll tell you about this during break, but Mitch, I hope you're still around because you're going to appreciate this story. You're definitely going to appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, I really don't know how this stream is going because YouTube is telling me one thing, my internet provider is telling me another thing. I'm all lost over here, right? Let me test one more time. But let's see. It's going. All right, so we are going to try this out here. We're going to take this ALB host name. And we are going to go here and we're going to see if this is going to bring up the site. This might just be the issue that we had last time, right? See, no, because if it was going to come up, it would have came up right away. So we still have some type of issue going on. And now we're going to be getting into our troubleshooting phase between this, the last remaining 7 seconds or 7 minutes and our next one, and then we'll see where we can go from there, right? But usually if it doesn't come up right away, then something is wrong with that in our configuration, but I don't know exactly what it is through the Terraform. So we're gonna have to do some investigative journalism, investigative work. So let's get to it. All right, so so the issue that we're having is we're not able to access the site using the this URL right here. I wonder, see, we probably prevented the public IP in our configuration from loading it as well. If we're to go to, let's see, there might not even be a public IP to be honest with you. Let's see if we go to here. Let's go to here. We don't have any services running. Wait, what? Let's see what's going on. So we have this service, which is up and running. So that's good. We go into here and there should be a task that's also running. All right. So let me see. Are we going to HTTP though? HTTP://. All right, so we are going to HTTP. It's still not loading. All right, understandably. And there goes who? There goes X. All right, cool. All right, so this is not loading, which I would expect to happen. Even we're going to HTTP. So copy that. All right, so now if we were to go to in here and let's see why we can't get to it. So let's check out. The first thing I like to check is a security group because the security group is what allows things in and prevents things from coming in. So if we go into here, and I have way too many security groups, of course, but let's look for one that was set up with the control to PPQ load balancers. Let's see here. I should have named it T. I'm going to rename them actually. Not right now, but I'm going to rename the load balancer so that I can include TF in it so I can know. And I should put tags in them called Terraform. I'll do that afterwards. But let's go to here. All right, so I guess it's this one. Let's see. Yep. So I have to so remind me guys, every time that we go to create a new resource, let's give it a name of TF in it, right? So we can easily identify it. But let's go and let's click into this one. And let's see the configuration. So it says allow access to port 3000 on here from any like source, right? Let's edit inbound rules. This says anything should be able to come to port 3000. All right. Well, what if we were to put 3000 on this? Ah, I see, says the blind man. I see, says the blind man. So it works here, but I thought we wanted it to be on port like without having to put the it actually did work, but we didn't put port 3000 because I was under the impression that without port 3000, it should just work on port 80, right? So the fact that it didn't, let's see here. So security group edit to restrict access to the application. Ingress, let's see. Are we only on, all right, so let's look at, I'm looking for the word port, right? Because I don't want to read through all this documentation all the time, but I'm just curious to see. So with all this in place, we are ready to build our application, load balancer, and ECS cluster. For this tutorial, we're going to be listening for HTTP on port 80. However, I think it goes saying if you're in production, use port 3, right? So cool. So right here, ALB, so AWS ALB target group. This is where the port 80 is set. So now I guess we have to compare ours to see if that is what we have set, you know? So let's find out. Let's find out. All right, so this is going to be on the ALB one, which is going to be this one. And I do have it saying port 80, HTTP, AWS VPC, main, target type IP, health check. I have health check commented out. Redirect all traffic from ALB to the target group. So this is target group. All right, redirect all traffic from the ALB to the target group. Let's go down here. And then we have ALB listener, front end, load balancer ARN, AWS, load balancer ARN, AWS, main ID, and then port equals var.app port. Tell me that. Okay. Protocol HTTP. All right. Default action type forward target group AWS ALB target group PBQ app ID. Okay. So why is that not doing it then? Go back to the top of this one. So PBQ load balancer, AWS subnet public ID, security group, AWS security, PBQLB ID. All right. So resource ALB target group. And all right, we have that. And then name PBQ target group. Okay. Port 80 protocol, HTTP, VPC ID, AWS VPC, main ID, target type IP. Let me uncomment this right here, I guess. Well, no, I don't have a health check thing. So that's why I don't have this. That's why it's commented out. All right. So let's check this one again. Load balancer ARN, AWS ALB Main ID, port, protocol HTTP. And that's it. And then our cluster. All right. So then our ECS cluster. So we got this part is good. Let's check our ECS cluster. So we have in here. Let's see. AWS task definition, PPQ, task, family, TF, PPQ, app container task. And I don't have an execution rule on it. Requires compatibilities, Fargate, CPU. All right. Oh, we do have an execution rule. Runtime platform. Don't see a runtime platform. Okay, let's see. So maybe we didn't get to this the other day. I don't know. Let's figure it out. All right, so here we are. We have our all right. So ECS task definition. That's what I'm looking at over here. I'm looking at this over here, right? Oh, time is up. Time is up. I didn't even see that. You see, that's why I need that sound to let me know when our time is up. But let's go to break. Let's go to break because I can get into this thing and I can just get all hung up on it. But let me know what you think, right? I'm trying to figure this out so that we can make this work. But I think we're getting close. I think we are really getting close. I am going to put another 5 minute on the clock as we go to break. And what was on our break for today? So here's the thing. A lot of people, they always ask, like, how do you make time for all this? Like, how do you get all this stuff done? And me, I'm always open to listen and to collaborate. So there's one thing for me, right? Between coaching and guiding you and things like that. But then the other aspect that I go with, like, I'm always open-minded, like, especially like, if you're either a content creator or you work in some type of field and you have some type of idea, but you might not know how to get it off the ground, how to build it, whatever the case may be. I'm like, hey, let's have a conversation. Let's figure out how we can, collaborate, and that you're adding value to me, I'm adding value to you, and we can go out there and we can win together. A lot of people are like, here's what I see happen, right? A lot of people, they'll have, they'll want to build some type of tech experience, and they will be like, oh, but I need the job first, and then they'll see a job posting, for example, and the job posting says you need to have 3 years of experience, which if you're just trying, like, if you're just out of school, you're trying to transition or whatever, it might be hard to get those 3 years of experience. But the thing that I always tell you guys to do is, all right, go create your experience. Some people will say, like, create your reality. Well, I don't necessarily say that, but I'll say create your experience. So look for smaller, not platforms, but let's say smaller startups, for example, who are looking to grow, or they're looking to have maybe a software developer. They're looking to have a software tester. So me, I'm always open. I'm always open to listen, always open to collaborate. I might not be the one who's going to, like, be doing the development work or the QA, but I have resources. I have people who are trying to build experience. And for me, I'm always open to, like, hey, you have an idea, you don't have money to pay. I'm like, okay, how can we partner up on this? how can we do how maybe we can do some type of equity. Your idea, cool, great. But if you want my time and you can't afford it right now, okay, let's figure something out. I'm willing to work with you, and I think that we need to be a little bit more open-minded to the different possibilities and different opportunities. See, one thing for me, I'm always looking for how can I grow? How can I leverage whatever opportunity? How can I leverage the people that I'm coming in contact with? Because it's you might all right. Let me say what I'm gonna say. Right, people are valuable. People's knowledge is valuable, and I think that certain people that I come across, they want to leverage the knowledge of someone without appreciating the person. They just like we spoke about it the other day. Like people can be takers, right? They just want to suck you dry. Like they just want to take everything out of you, and then once there's nothing left in you, they just pretty much throw you to the wayside. And I do not believe in that. I think that we should always be looking to work together and to grow together. And that's why for me, like the way that I see it, I'm like, all right, let's tell me your ideas, tell me your plans. And I'll even tell you, hey, if this is like some plan that you have that you don't want it getting out, whatever, which I won't share your information, but write up an NDA. I'll sign an NDA with no problem. Like I don't want your ideas. But if you tell me about it, I'm like, oh, this is really cool. Let's team up and let me help you because I have the people who are looking to learn. I develop, I'm getting better at it, but just this past week, writing unit tests, developing in the MERN stack, working with Mongo, figuring all these things, right? And I'm like, let's put our minds together to see like, hey, you don't know if it's gonna take off? Cool. Like I'm willing to invest in ideas. And I think we should all be willing to invest in ideas, especially if those ideas are going to provide us growth opportunities,
Appreciate you.
experience opportunities. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. I really, really appreciate that. Always love getting new subs. Always love to work with you. So yeah, like to wrap it up, what I was saying is that be open-minded. Don't let people waste your time. Like they have to be serious about their thoughts and their ideas, right? And they have to play a role. They can't just give you this idea and then they're like hands off. And if that's the case, then you're gonna have to pay. But if you are really invested in your idea, then I'm invested in your idea too, and let's figure it out together. And that's why I love meeting new people, hearing their ideas. They might not be the most technical people. They might not know how to bring it to fruition. But let's take your idea, and you have a vision for it. We can work together to make your vision a reality. And even if it's like start at the basic, MVP, the minimum viable product. Let's build that MVP out as simple as possible and start getting something to work, putting something out there in the market. And once you do that, then let it grow from there. And then, once the dough starts rolling in,
Money.
and then, we got something and, we all have our equity in it. I'll be if I have equity, I'm invested in the success. If you own it and you have majority equity, you're invested in the success. What I don't like though is someone has an idea, but here's what I don't like, right? Here's what I don't like. When someone has an idea, but sleep is more important than bringing that idea to fruition.
You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
All right. So I told you I was gonna get that soundbite in there somewhere. But that's my thought, right? Like if we have an idea, let's be dedicated to that idea. The way that we're dedicated to watching stuff on Netflix, watching random videos on YouTube or TikTok or whatever, let's be dedicated to our ideas so that we can be the ones to make a difference. All right. So just throwing that out there. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. All right, we are going to get it's 4:15, maybe one or two more segments. Right. Let's see if we can get this working. All right. Let's see if we can get this working. Let's get rid of that, and we're going to put up another timer up, and let's get to it. All right. So what are we looking at here? So it works on port 3000. So we're comparing to see why this isn't working. So let's go over to the screen. And I'm just looking to see what exactly is going on. Let me refresh this thing real quick. Anyways, all right. So so this is all created. So we're just comparing real quick to see why this is working on port 3000 when we want it to be on port 80. Okay. So I'm just comparing. I'm looking at this over here, and let's see. So we got all that CPU, runtime, platform, container definition. Where is it getting this from? All right, container definitions, memory. What do we have under container definitions? Do we have all of this? Let me take a look at the container definitions on this file. Let's see. Where do they have? So let's see if I can find this over here. Wait, what? Where is your container definitions file? Okay. Let me see. So it would be inside of here. Do we have access to this one? If you do the data source. Is there a GitHub repo for this? This Terraform. Interesting. All right. Anyways, let's keep going. It's annoying. All right. Let's see. ECS task definition. So we got this part done. I think my container definition is okay. But we are going to there's a link to the full code. So let's take a look at his container definition in here. Let's go Terraform, templates, ECS, here, app port, container port 3000, host port 3000, which should be the same one. Protocol. They don't have a protocol in theirs, which I think is okay. Let's go to the variables. App port 3000. Okay. Did I put the clock up? Yeah, I did. So let's keep going. AWS. All right. So now if we go back over here then, and we keep comparing the two. ALB main, slugs, auto scaling. I don't think it has anything to do with auto scaling. It's gonna have something to do with the load balancers. Let me see. So we got, all right, so our cluster, ECS. Let's go look at our cluster. Which was there's using the task in the cluster. All right, so our ECS. So let's look at here. We have a cluster. And then we are calling in the template file, which we're not using the template file. We have the variables. We have the ECS task definition, which we have that at the beginning here. Network mode. This one requires, all right. All right, we have all that. Run time platform, which is inside the thing. AWS ECR URL, and the one that we want to load. Let me compare this real quick. Okay. And then ECS service. So the cluster ECS service, we have the name, desired count, task definition, which we have that, the cluster ID, yeah, launch type Fargate, all right, and then network security, AWS public or private, all right, assign true, load balancer. We have, so let's change this one because this should be, that might be, I think that's it right there, possibly. Wait a second, container name. Oh, it's just a name. All right, never mind. That sucks. Okay. Container var.app port, container name. All right, and then the target group ARN. Depend. So there's a bunch of depends on that we don't have, or there's one. Let's see. No. So it looks correct. Looks correct. I don't know. Why is this not starting up by the? So in that case, we are going to do just a little bit of Googling then, because it should work. It's going to be 3,000. It's going to be 3,000. AWS security group. Load balancer. That's going to be file security. All right. So we have here, we're going to have security group, load balance, VPC, main ID, ingress, TCP from app port, which is 3,000, to port 3,000, CRDR blocks. All right. Egress, port 0, 0, CRDR blocks. And here we're going to have description, VPC main ID, and then the name of the thing, ingress, protocol, TCP, var.app port, AWS PPQ ID, and then egress 0, 0. Then we go to ALB. And if I don't see anything that stands out, then we're just gonna have to do some Googling here because everything matches except for the health. The health thing shouldn't matter. Shouldn't matter. Let's see. Lastly, all right, ALB target group. All right. give it a name, port 80, protocol HTTP, AWS VPC main ID, target type IP. And then redirect all traffic from ALB to the target group. AWS listener, front end, load balancer ARN, port, sure that's correct. Protocol, default action, target group, and forward. Yeah. All right. Well, I guess we're gonna have to do some. Oh. Let's go with. Okay. So let's go over here. We're gonna do some Googling and stuff like that. Let's see what's going on here. So we have. Let's go to load balancers. We have this one. Target groups. This one. Registered targets. Port 80. So it should. So target group, load balancer. Let's go here. Availability zones in different regions. And not seeing why. Where did I get that? Where did I get that? Where did they get the actual DNS URL from? Let me go here. Over here. So something here is not letting it get to here. But if I do the 3000 at the end, oops. If I do the 3000, it takes it there, which is not right. I'm gonna need an AWS expert on the line. Let's see. Let's troubleshoot. So if I go into here, I got this DNS info, port protocol, go to network mapper, security, the security group, outbound rules. What if we were to do edit inbound rules and we add a rule for, just curious, for 80, and we do that for everything? Let's save that. Now, if we go here and we take this off, still nothing. All right, let's keep playing around with it then. Outbound rule, listeners and rules. Let's see what we can do here. Let's see, actions. Let's see, edit listener. So the listener will be identified by the protocol and the port. And then forward to groups. Used for connections from client to the load balancer. Let's see if we change this to 80, what happens? Save changes. We can always change it back if we have to. I refresh this. Nothing right away. Okay. So, look at this one. So it's getting here because that's why it's going so fast. If I remove this from the security group, and I refresh, so this turned from Terraform into figuring out AWS, which it happens. It definitely happens. Which, let's see here. This would be 3,000. But before I even change that, if I were to go to 3,000 on this one, would it stop working? So now if I change this back to 3,000, and now I go back and I go here again, this should come back, right? No? Thought that would come back. There we go. So it's back. So now, the issue that we're facing then is having let's see, whatever's on port 80 is trying to get to here. So now if we go back and we look at our Terraform code and we look for what is on, so the ALB target group is on port 80 and it's trying to get into, so this target group is trying to get into this load balancer, right? So let's see if we can find out where that is then. So let's say target groups. And if we go here, register targets over here. Monitoring. Don't have any health checks. All right, so it's somewhere in here that we're trying to. So let's see, network. Review the IP target. So review targets, confirm the IP targets to include in your target group. We have that, and then choose a network. Note that you can assemble a mix of targets from multiple network sources by returning to this step and choosing another network. Okay, so I wonder if, let me see something. So what I'm doing is I'm searching for the word ALB target group to make sure that we're actually going to it. So in the ALB, so what file am I currently? I'm going to turn in here. And they have it inside the ECS plan, inside the ALB. Default action forward. So I'm forwarding the AWS ALB listener front end to. So let's take a look at the listener then. Load balancers, the listeners, and then we're saying PPQ target group, forward to target group, and then the target group is PPQ target group, forward to PPQ target group. Well, let's find out what's going on. So let's go with load balancer loads on port 3000, but not on port 80. Load balancer is not redirecting ports. All right, let's see what's going on. I have, okay. Set the target load balancer, listen to port 3000. Load balance port 80 means you receive only HTTP, so you have to receive HTTP on load balancer. And the target group port is 3000. Really? Wasn't able to use a load balancer to redirect traffic to port 80 to 3000. So if anyone says advice, and nobody. Oh, okay. Let's see what this says then. What I do in my class, I redirect port 80 to port 80 to 3000. I launch my node on port A, request to port to get mapped. Not what I want to do. Or I don't think it's what I want to do. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know yet. But we're gonna figure it out. But we're at break. We are at break. All right. So let's see. What do we have on the list for today? All right. So here we are. We are working through it. You know what? Get some water and I'll put this up for now. Oops, go here. And we will I'll probably skip this break and just try to keep troubleshooting because I want to figure this out, right? Because I don't want to go into a third week on the same thing. But I just don't see exactly what is causing this issue. Load balancer has port on port 80, which points to target group. Our group is on port 80, which is targeting my EC2 instance on port 3000. Let's keep looking. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, we're just gonna do one more segment for 20 minutes. We'll finish around 5. So let's just put up our last 20 minutes on the clock and we'll just go from there. There's nothing in the chat, so I want to get this thing figured out. So let's just work on it. All right. Let's see. ALB target group. EC2 instance attached with ALB showing unhealthy status on port 80. Let's see. How to forward a port. How to do port forwarding with an AWS with ALB. All right. So target EC2 instance and what up, Mitch? What's up, Mitch? Mitch says, "Hey, what up, Mitch? What's going on?" I'm trying to figure this thing out. It's driving me crazy. It's driving me crazy. Let's see. Go to your target group and verify the health of the target group. All right. Let's take a look at the target group. It says it's healthy. It says we're healthy. All right. All right. What's next? If the status is not healthy, then you need to check the application either running or either the security group not allowing traffic. Let's see. Says it's healthy. Click on this. Health checks. Monitoring. So there are, it's like there's requests coming to it. 2030. Is this when we had the, all right. That's not the one. HTTP port 80 IP. We'll go to VPC. It's similar to the issue we were facing last time, but it's not. Let's go to route tables. Internet gateways. Let's see. Does this make any sense? Should start up. I'm gonna have to do some more work on this week because this doesn't make any sense to me. I need a networking person. That's not where I want to go. The load. I'm gonna get rid of these things over here too. Let's say we say register targets. Looking over here. How to forward port an AWS application load balancer. Port forwarding. Adding answers with AWS. All right. So port 8080. Adding. All right. So is it possible to have an application running on an EC2 instance that has the load balancer listed on port 80, but proxy it to instance port 8080? I cannot seem to get this to work. What settings do I need to change when I'm running a cluster behind an application load balancer? All right, so this must be a really old 2020. All right, so we're looking at your load balancer routes, request to the target and this target using the protocol and the port that you specify. Show you with one load balancer, right? So target group, new target group, Java ELB, HTTP port 8080, and then we're going to go down here to port health checks. Okay. Make sure make sure that your ELB is internet facing. Refer to the image below of ELB summary, which says that ELB is internet facing and checks that your routing is properly added. So let's take a look at this one then. So internet facing. This looks similar to what we have. All right. So let's go to you define the instance port in target group. You need to configure the target group to use port 8080. Then point the application load balancer to port application load balancers port 80 to the target group. The ALB will also listen in on port 80 and forward the request on the target. Okay, or do we have it backwards maybe then? I don't know. I'm so confused here. Let's see. So we don't need internet gateway. So application target group, targets, and it's targeting port 3000. All right, we got that. Now, if we go to the load balancer and click here, internet facing schema. Okay, click on this, click on that, edit rule. So it's saying the load balancer details. Got all that. And protocol, listener configuration. Listener configuration. I change this to port 80. I go here. Still not starting up. There. But it will forward it to this target group on port 80, which would take it to port 3000 over here. And so now if I go to the security group, not reachable. The security group for your load balancer don't allow traffic to this port. All right, so let's check the security tab. So different error, but let's go here. And if we do allow access to this port, I think the issue we're going to have is that it doesn't. Wait. Oh my God, we got it. We have got it. So there's something up with our configuration. So our security group needs to allow access on port 80 and our which one is it? And our listener needs to be it still says not reachable, but it is reachable. our listener needs to be on port 80. So I'm going to change it back to how we had it. And then we're going to go into Terraform. We're going to go into Terraform. We're going to make the necessary adjustments. So, and I think the issue has to do with some port stuff that we have set up, like with the app ports and stuff like that. So if I go back to the security group, and we're going to edit inbound rules, and we're going to take this off, which I don't even know then if on the security group we should have port 3000. But we'll find out. We shall find out. All right. So let's go back over here. And if we refresh this, I just refreshed the page. We have 8 minutes to go. All right, cool. I think we can figure this out in 8 minutes. So then if we get this working in Terraform, then next we can come back with our Route 53, which should be a little bit easier. And we should be able to come back with, what's the name of that other thingy? ACM, the Amazon Certificate Manager. All right, so let's go over here. Let's try to figure this out. So ALB listener. So let me see. We did the listener, and we said protocol HTTP forward here, but port app port. I'm gonna go into here, and I'm going to say not app port, but variable traffic port. And that is something that I don't think is supposed to be that way. Because if we look at over here, let's see, I'm gonna look up in the documentation real quick. Because maybe I missed something, right? So front end. So and there's they have app port as well. Let me see. App port. So they have app port exposed by Docker image to redirect traffic. So they have the app port as 3000. I don't know necessarily why per se, but I'm going to change this app port to description port to access application publicly. Public. And then default is going to be 80, right? And now we're going to go to our security, and we're going to say ingress. Can I have more than one ingress? Security group. Let's see. Ingress. Let's do another ingress maybe. And then protocol HTTP from port 80 or bar.app or traffic port, and then to port bar.traffic port, and then CIDR blocks, and we're going to say that's going to be 0.0.0.0/0. And if we do a Terraform, so before we even do that, right, let's make sure that this isn't working again. So if we go to here and we refresh, Cool. So it's just spinning. It's not working, right? So let's go ahead and let's go to here. And we're going to do another Terraform apply. Enter. And the change it's going to make is it is going to change this from port 3000 for the ingress to port 80 and port 3000. And it is going to, there was another thing I should have done in there. Resource app scaling. Made any changes to that, but whatever. AWS security group. There should be one more thing in there. Hold on. We have that, and we had the port that I was sending it to. ECS network. Let's see. We did something with the load balancer. Okay, so here we also need this to be the traffic port. All right, let's see. Terraform. Apply. Oh. Terraform apply. That should take us to two changes. One for the security group and one for the there goes that for the security group, and then one for this one right here. So let's see if this is going to work, right? So we're gonna say yes. Minor changes, so it should be pretty cool. What the heck just happened here? Ingress rules authorizing security group ingress, invalid parameter, and invalid value HTTP or IP protocol, unknown protocol. What's that all about? So security group, maybe it's all caps, maybe? If not, I'll just look it up real quick. The latest I can stay today is till 5:15 because I have a call at 5:30. Where are you getting that from? So line ECS security. I'm in security. All right, so let's look up the protocol, or maybe it's just all right. So let's look it up. So go over here. So that is expected, and we're going to look for AWS security group. Oh, we just go up here. And if we look for ingress, are all of them going to be TCP? Egress. Let me see. Ingress. Let's take. Oh, it's not a link. Ingress. I can just do one block for it. All right, ingress configuration block for ingress rows can be specified multiple times for each ingress row. Let's see. How about protocol though? Protocol. All right, so required. All right, from port protocol. Required protocol. If you select a protocol of -1 to equal to this is not a valid value here. You must specify a from port, a to port. The supported values are defined IP protocol. All right, let me just put that as TCP then. And let's try it again. Let's see here. All right, so that's done. That's done. Let's see if it made a difference. All right, so if we go over here and go here, let's reload. Boom, there we go. There we go.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
All right, so there we go. We're getting there. We're getting there. So we got that working. It's now, here's my curiosity, right? If I go to port 3000, is it still going to load the site? It's not. Good. Why is, I don't know. Maybe, which if it loads, that's fine with me. But quite possibly, the way that we set it up is that it will override. Let's see here. So this is the security group. Oh, it's still there. Still there. I don't know why it doesn't work on port 3000 anymore. It has both of them there. But whatever. We'll do some research on it to see why. My watch is telling me to drink some water. Okay, so I think we're going to be wrapping it up because we got this part working, and this is this was the most important part to get it to load when we go to the load balancer. I'm not sure necessarily why this is still here or if it's even needed, but we'll leave it. Or it might be because going through the load balancer, we're not forwarding on that port anymore. So okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Oh, I mean, might as well leave it. Well, I don't know. Let's try it out real quick. I'm curious to see if I was to take this off altogether. Not here. I'm just curious because we can quickly spin that back up. No, this is a security group. Okay, so if we were to say Terraform apply, I just want to see if the site will still come up if we take this out. But I think like learning about these load balancers and stuff like that, the security groups, that is fundamental to being successful in AWS because navigating traffic across is so important. All right, so it still comes up even without the, and make sure it's not like delayed, but it still comes up. Let's see, reload. And if we go to our security group and so it's either I misunderstood something in the documentation, in the guide, in the tutorial, or there's something wrong in the tutorial because setting our security group to port 80 and changing, so setting up our security group to port 80 and changing the listening on port 80 as well is what allowed this to switch. And we read it in some type of documentation, but that's what allowed the load balancer to forward to our target group. And if you look at our target group, here we are. Right? So I think we're good. All right. So let's wrap it up for today. I think we did really good progress. Really good progress. And on that note, because of that, we are going to, let's go here and let's get rid of that. So there we go. So great job, everybody. Thank you guys for following along. Thank you, Mitch, for the shout out on the hoodie, on the black sheep. I believe that I am the black sheep of everywhere, right? I do things differently. And you know what? But maybe that's why I get so much done. So it is what it is, right? We're gonna wrap it up. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really, really appreciate you guys. On our way out, you know, I have to ask. As always.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Well, I was very entertained and even more entertained and excited because we got past this. So that means next week, Sunday, we are moving forward. We are going to be working with the Route 53. The same, pretty much a lot of the same things that we did for our Elastic Beanstalk. We're going to be doing the same thing here, but to route it towards our ECS cluster. And once that is done, then we'll leave them running for about a week. We'll do an experiment next week, leave them running for about a week to see which one is going to be more cost effective, and whichever one that is, we will be going with that. More convenient, probably Elastic Beanstalk, because all we have to do is merge our code in and it's going to do the whole deployment. But which one is going to be more cost effective, right? So that's what we're going to find out. A little experiment coming up next month. But on the way out, you guys know, right? If you haven't liked the video, share the video, or subscribe to the channel, go ahead and do that for me right now. Do me a big favor. You know, we spent about, how much time we've been going here? We've been going for, let's see here, 2 hours and 20 minutes. So a lot of information, a lot of leveling up. So do me a favor, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. If you need my personalized help, go over to www.techcoachralph.dev, where you can sign up for a coaching plan with me, as well as get access to exclusive content like how I set up my calendar, agile training, all that type of stuff to get you more familiar and to help you level up in the tech space. All right. But you know what time it is. Mitch, you know what time it is, right? Yesterday's price is not today's price. And today's price is certainly not tomorrow's price.
One more thing. Price of the brick going up.
The price of the brick is going up, all right? And on that note, you guys have a wonderful rest of your Sunday. I got Scrum Night tonight. I got a meeting. I have a coaching call in about 20 minutes. So I'm going to head out to do that. And lots of work to do, right? You set up your Kanban boards, right? Set up your Kanban boards. With that being said, I am getting out of here, all right? I am getting out.
You might think that getting into the IT field is impossible without a computer science degree, but Tech Coach Ralph is here to prove you wrong. Get ready for some jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into this lucrative industry. Listen up, tech enthusiasts. Are you ready to break through into the IT field, but feel like you need a computer science degree to make it happen? Think again. Tech Coach Ralph has some exclusive, mind-blowing secrets to share with you. Get ready to be blown away by his jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into the tech industry without a computer science degree. So get your notepad ready, because Tech Coach Ralph is going to change your life forever. Buckle up, because you're about to embark on a journey to success in the IT field.
Spartans! What is your profession?